1804. 6 other types of customer-furnished instrument transformer enclosures, custom-made. Where customers' service conductors exceed the maximum cable specifications for standard CPS energy-furnished instrument transformer enclosures, customer shall furnish at their expense an enclosure for housing required instrument transformers. Enclosures shall be corrosion-resistant, painted if steel, weatherproof where applicable, have removable covers which do not rely only on screws to secure them in position, be equipped with cover lifting handles as necessary for safety, and be constructed of minimum 12-gauge metal to prevent warping or bending. The enclosures must be sized in accordance with NEC and be equipped with padlock hasps or tongues and pentabolts. All custom-made enclosures shall first be approved by CPS Energy's Electric Service and Metering Standards Section. 1805. Location of metering equipment. Metering equipment shall be located outdoors in a readily accessible location. Where the metering equipment does not serve as the pod, it shall be located as close as possible to the pod. The metering equipment location in all cases shall either be designated or approved by CPS Energy's customer service representative. Exception 1. Metering equipment may be located on the inside of building for service designs supplied from the downtown network system in accordance with Section 1100. Exception 2. Metering equipment for high-rise concept buildings may be grouped in dedicated meter rooms on various levels in accordance with Section 900. Exception 3. CPS Energy will review proposed designs where special circumstances may require the use of meter rooms within the building for location of multiple metering equipment. Where CPS Energy approves such designs, customer shall be responsible for that portion of service conduits under the building or structure. Service conduits under the building or structure shall be installed as required to be considered outside of the building and shall terminate within 4 feet upon entering CPS Energy approved electric meter rooms. CPS Energy may require customer to install spare conduits and to locate meter rooms on exterior walls as close as possible to transformer poles. Refer to definition of conductors considered outside of building. 1805. 1. Prohibited locations. Metering equipment shall not be installed in locations specified below. 1. Areas that may be enclosed in the future such as patios, covered porches, and/or carports. 2. Areas subject to vibration, fumes, corrosive vapors, etc. 3. Over ramps or stairways. 4. Extending over driveways or pedestrian sidewalks, unless specifically protected from accidental contact or physical damage. 5. Extending into narrow alleys or adjoining property, unless an easement is obtained. 6. Areas accessible only through trapdoors or hatches. 7. Areas accessible only by ladder. 8. On CPS Energy poles, except overhead primary meters. 9. On portable buildings or on manufactured homes or portable/temporary structures, refer to definition of portable. 10. Areas that expose personnel and/or metering equipment to potentially hazardous conditions. 1806. Heights of metering equipment. Single position, self-contained meter sockets and transformer-rated meter sockets including trans sockets must be mounted so that the center of the meters will be not less than 4 feet or more than 6 feet above final grade or floor level. Exception 1. Where single-position meter sockets are protected in meter rooms, basements, or approved decorative meter enclosures, the minimum height may be reduced to 3 feet if pre-approved by CPS Energy's customer service representative. Exception 2. Where 480-volt self-contained meter sockets are supplied from an auxiliary bus gutter, the maximum height may be increased to 6.5 feet to accommodate installation of meter disconnects. Exception 3. Where 4-stack, and 5-stack modular metering is installed, the minimum height to the meter center of the lowest meter shall be to 3 feet and the maximum height to the center of the highest meter shall be 6.5 feet. Note: enclosures for housing instrument transformers must be mounted so that their tops will be no less than 6 feet or more than 6.5 feet above final grade or floor level. Refer to Figure 1811. 1807 Minimum clearances and working space required at metering equipment. Metering equipment and associated service equipment shall be mounted in a location that provides minimum safe working clearances in accordance with the NEC and applicable codes and as specified below. 1807 1 Front clearance. There must be a minimum of 3 feet of unobstructed space in front of self-contained meter sockets, and 4 feet of unobstructed space in front of transformer-rated meter sockets and instrument transformer enclosures measured from the front surface of the socket or enclosure. The final grade or floor in front of the metering equipment must be level and provide a stable standing surface. 1807 2 Minimum spacing between metering equipment and adjacent equipment. Spacing for self-contained meter sockets shall be a minimum of 1 inch on sides and 2 inches at top and bottom of socket enclosures. For transformer-rated meter sockets and instrument transformer enclosures, spacing shall be a minimum of 2 inches on sides and bottom and 8 inches at top. 1807 3 Headroom clearance at meters. Headroom above final grade or floor level shall not be less than 6 feet 6 inches or height of metering equipment including the minimum spacing clearances outlined in Article 1807(2) of this section. Enclosure covers must be readily removable for complete exposure of internal equipment without being blocked by ceilings or overhead objects. 1807 4 Width of working space. The width of the working space in front of the electrical equipment shall be the width of the equipment or 30 inches whichever is greater. In all cases, the workspace shall permit at least a 90-degree opening of equipment doors or hinged panels. 1807 5 Clearance from CPS Energy Gas Regulator. Gas equipment shall not interfere with minimum clearances outlined herein for metering and service equipment and shall maintain a minimum horizontal clearance of 3 feet from the gas regulator. Measurement shall be taken from the nearest edge of the electrical equipment to the gas regulator. Additional clearances from windows, vents, and other miscellaneous openings and equipment must also be maintained from CPS Energy Gas Equipment, refer to Figure 1821. 1807 6 Clearance from receptacles. A minimum of 4 feet radial distance shall be maintained between receptacle outlets and CPS Energy electric kilowatt-hour meters. 1808 Grouping of meters. In general, where more than 1 meter is required at a service installation, the meters shall be grouped and supplied by one service lateral or service drop. Meters may only be grouped using one of the following methods. 1. Modular metering equipment. 2. Auxiliary busbar gutter. 3. Auxiliary wire gutter. 1808 1 Grouping meters with modular metering equipment. Modular metering equipment will be allowed where the general installation requirements and specifications outlined in this section have been met and approved by CPS Energy. Refer to Figure 1814. The general advantages of using modular metering equipment include: 1. An aesthetic appearance. 2. Compact, thus requiring less space than field-assembled metering equipment. 3. Pre-bus design eliminates the need to wire individual meter sockets to a common bus and to feeder circuit breakers. Note: CPS Energy will not approve or accept modular metering equipment for commercial single-phase or three-phase applications. A. New construction. For new construction where customer elects to use modular metering, all metering on the project must be done using modular type equipment. Exception 1. For standalone buildings requiring single-phase or three-phase self-contained or transformer-rated metering. Exception 2. For individual three-phase loads where modular metering equipment is used for 3-wire 120/208 volt loads. Exception 3. Where house loads exceed 200 amperes and instrument transformer equipment is required. B. Remodel construction. For remodels with existing grouped single-position meter sockets, customer may elect to use modular metering equipment in place of existing metering equipment provided they use it for the entire building that is being remodeled. Note: customer shall not use single-position meter sockets for add-ons to modular metering equipment on new or existing installations.